Is there anybody there?
Because it's giving me the option to end the stream, so it should be live.
I don't think it's broadcasting anything.
Oh,
Here we go. Uh-oh. Now we go. Here we go.
Yeah, baby. Give it to me. Oh, yeah.
All right.
There.
So we're live. We're on.
Yeah, give us some love.
Welcome to Popularity Contest, the Truth Wing Challenge, December 8th, 2020. And let me know if I'm too loud, Kazooie. But tonight in the Thunderdome, Willooz and I are going to see who can eat the most wings. I have ordered 50 wings because it was economically unfeasible to order more, really. It was just extremely expensive. But I went to B-Dubs. I'll give you my BW3s.
Ooh.
Plug, mark out for these people. 10 Thai curry. You see that? 10 of these gimmicks, medium. 10 of these gimmicks.
Okay,
hot.
so you went. So on what on the? I know they have a
10 of these
scale.
gimmicks, habanero mango,
Oh,
and 10 of these gimmicks, Caribbean jerk. The habanero mango is the hottest, though, by far. It's the third hottest one they offer. So we're going to see if that one's going to blow my butthole out with diarrhea. But that's what we're going to do. I'm going to try to eat as many wings as I possibly can during the course of this stream. And Willooz is going to try to do whatever he does, too. He's going to try to do the same thing. But
well, I didn't go with the store-bought option. I did go with the store-bought, but I decided to prepare my wings myself. Let me bring this up in here. So what I got a little platter here. I went with I bought 54 wings is what I ended up getting. I got 22 full wings with drum and wing attached. I separated them last night, marinated them, and then I left 10 of them upstairs for my son because he was not about to let me walk away with every single wing.
fair.
So I've got Parmesan garlic on this side. I've got
Gross.
the classic mild, but it's it's the Buffalo Wild Wings mild. So it's like
Hot mild.
right?
That makes sense. Yeah.
I know. Yeah,
This is some carny shit already. All right, what else you got?
And then I've got the Asian Zing, which is also on the. So I also went with all the Buffalo Wild Wings flavors. I was wondering if we were going to get the same ones. It's nice that we got different options, but I wanted to have similar levels of heat, and then we can go to the Scoville chart.
Okay.
The temperature, and we can see who's the bigger pussy, essentially. Because I wanted to see, and sounds like it might be me.
Probably. I have this pile of wet wipes. Here's my bone bowl.
Oh no! Okay.
And I've got this gimmick. Look at this wet wipe stack, right?
Uh-huh.
All right. Then I've got this roll of paper towels. I've got my water gimmick. And I've got my Bud Light Platinum for a winner.
Oh.
This is beyond gold. It's platinum. It's signifying that I'm going to win. So
Yeah, no, it's just a little
symbolism.
bit more alcohol. It's just
Symbolism.
a little bit more alcohol.
Oh, I had bad luck last time with the high alcohol beer.
You know, I met
Real bad luck.
my wife on Bud Light Platinums.
Yeah, there you go, boss.
Mhm.
Oh, I also have this sack of ranch that weighs no less than a pound.
Oh.
So
Oh, I guess if I let me show you what I also got, because I went with the tortilla chip nacho platter. In the middle, I just filled it all the way to the top with blue cheese, chunky blue cheese, and then I've got pile of baby wipes. Pile of baby wipes. I've got
that's a solid plan.
a couple Gatorades, one Corona Extra, one screwdriver to open the Corona Extra, because that's all I had, and then I got
What's that gimmick? Nickels?
it's a bunch of weed.
Oh,
I brought PEDs tonight. I'm in Illinois. It's legal.
BlueChew.com.
Bluetooth.com. PED.
I'm looking for my ashtray, but it's going to have to be the floor again.
Use
use
my butthole if you want.
Gross. Maybe. All right, I'm going to get in.
So we can just start eating. Okay, so we'll start with we should make it a little bit ceremonial. You know what I mean? Like maybe about ritual. There's got to be some sort of a ritual to this.
That's true. All right.
Well,
I'll tell you, at our house, every night, every meal, but especially dinner. But we try to say it at every meal, but especially dinner. We during our prayer, we thank the animal for sacrificing its life for us to eat. So I would start with something like that.
Okay.
Thank you.
I have to
Thank you,
thank
chicken.
25 chickens. I have to
No,
thank.
they're all just a monolithic creature. Thank you, chicken, for
Okay.
sacrificing your life. Yeah, we don't give it. My son he's like, though, what animal is it? I'm like, well, this sounds very steak. It's probably cow, pig, human. He's like, thank you, cow, pig, human, clone,
Yeah.
viral binder, binding
do,
agent.
We thank we thank everybody in the family. We're happy that everybody is healthy and happy, and we appreciate each other, and we hope that we stay happy and healthy forever. And we're just happy to be here on Earth. We always say that. I'm so happy to
That's
be
nice.
here, and that's how I feel right now with these wings. I'm so excited. I've not eaten today, so what I've done is I've taken this very serious because I've not been able to flex my competitive side of myself for a while now because I've just been trapped here in COVID. And when I saw you type the word challenge, I was like, I got serious. So what I started doing is I started researching how these.
Oh, Jesus Christ! Yeah, you meddled. You meddled in it.
I started researching how these food competition carnies prepare for a competition the night before. So number one, they say you have your last meal 18 to 22 hours before the competition. So
fail. Didn't do that.
Last night I ate at 1 o'clock in the morning. It was the last time I ate. And it says you're only supposed to eat fruits and vegetables. So I ate exclusively meat, unfortunately. So it wasn't, it's not exactly by the book. I had like 3 cheeseburgers because you're supposed to eat a lot. So I ate 3 cheeseburgers.
Build the stomach, expand the stomach.
Expand it. And then how do you keep it expanded from retracting back? You load up on water the next day. I drank 2.5 gallons of water today.
You look a little bloated. You have a lot of salt.
What if I actually didn't drink it? And what if I didn't actually drink it or eat those?
What if
bloated?
What if you didn't actually look bloated?
Yeah. Oh, that's nice. No. So
drew the lie out. See, I drew the lie out.
No, I just decided to accept that you were trying to cover your tracks because my self-esteem. So that's fine. I know how to.
Teeth look nice. Your teeth look nice tonight.
I appreciate it. Your hat looks nice.
Thanks. I need to eat some damn wing though. I've had this.
I broke down. I had 4 pretzels this afternoon because I was so hungry.
Bavarian?
So, not just like regular crap, shitty pretzels. So anyway, let's get this going.
What do you got? You got a Thai gimmick, right? Don't you have? You have Asian Zing.
Asian Zing.
Right.
So,
in the name of truth, justice, and all carnies everywhere. Look at this. Look at this.
How many people died on 9/11 for the first truth question? Ooh, that looks good.
the same amount of people who got hurt is the answer.
Nobody died.
Nobody got
hurt. Okay, here we
go. There's more wings in this box than there were on the Pentagon. Oh, this one's got. Hold on. This one's got a goddamn. See the fucking wings. Did I ever tell you that wings are gross? So the wings. This one has like a fucking. What's it called? Like a crest.
You eat Salisbury steak.
Dude, this is different though. Fuck, wings are gross. All right.
I love wings.
Ready?
Yeah.
I bet.
Oh my god.
What kind is it? Thai curry. This is good.
Hey, Kazooie. Kazooie, are you there?
Yeah, what's up?
Can you go ahead and look up the Buffalo Wild Wings, the different flavors that they have, so we can compare to see who has
the sauce menu.
Wings? The sauce menu? Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, this is delicious.
Is the chewing disgusting? Is it really picking up hot?
It might. Maybe I'll back off when I chew.
I think it's coming in more on Will Loses end.
That's right. It is.
Oh man, I don't know what to do with my. Well, I'm gonna set mine off to the side on there, and I'm gonna work around clockwise, and I'll just keep piling them up on the top at 12 o'clock. My 12 o'clock right here. Work my way around. So I'll start with the Asian Zing, work my way to the mild, finish on the Parmesan garlic. I might mix it up a little.
I'll tell you what. I'm going to tell you already. I've had one of my 50 wings. I haven't even finished one. It's been a long time since I've eaten wings. I thought I would be burning through these things. Look, I've had to take like 5 bites of this thing already. Son of a bitch, it's not even half gone. I'm
being respectful right now. I could be. This is what I was thinking. At one point, I got so hungry earlier. This is really what it was. I wasn't going to make this a competition, even though it's supposed to be a challenge. I planned on losing this. The only way that I'm going to win this is if all of a sudden you start to turn up and make it a competition, because then my competitive instincts will kick in and I will start to shove these wings up my butt if I have to beat you. But if you decide to be chill, okay. God
damn, look at my hands. Look at these things.
You're an animal.
Jeez. Oh, I know. I'm such a messy eater. It's bad.
I'm going to mix in some Parmesan garlic. So let's do like...
How are your hands? Look at the sauce on these. Yours are like dry rubbed or something.
Oh, you're out of your mind. Look at this.
These things are what? Yeah, it's fake. Fake.
Can you see this?
Fake. No.
I got dripping. It's not dripping, but it's close to dripping. I'm going to go 2 at a time right now. Okay. I'm going to eat 50. Did I say 52 or 54?
54 minus 10.
I'm lying either way. So
Oh my God.
I'm going to eat 54 minus 10 more wings than there were people that died on 9/11.
I tried to do the gimmick I watched on YouTube where they twist the bone and rip it out.
Yeah.
In order to it fucking all it did was get shit all over my hands.
I've been watching a lot of competitive eating things the last 48 hours, like a bunch, because I think there's actually some pretty relevant conversation to have there, because these guys are just carnies in their own way. Only the ones, at the top though are the real carnies. Most of the people there are just marks for the promoter, similar to like wrestling, where they're just taking the hits and just destroying their bodies.
That's right. Only one's going to win. And I'll tell you what, they're not going to let, what's that Chinese man's name that wins it all the time? He ate like 700 hot dogs.
Oh, yeah.
He also invented Bitcoin.
What's his name, Kazooie? I sent you some stuff on him earlier. What's the Japanese eater's name?
Let me find it real quick.
Yeah, it should be in the show
That
notes.
was a compelling radio here.
Well, we're just getting going. I'm very hungry, so I'm going to need to eat for a little bit.
Is it
I feel you.
Kobayashi?
Kobayashi.
Kobayashi.
Right. Now Kobayashi, this is who I just follow. I remember watching him as a kid because he was like my idol, because he reminded me of myself. He liked to eat and he was super jacked. Now the only difference was I was very fat. But I love to eat.
Did you also idolize the small Asian penis? Or is that a stereotype?
I didn't idolize it.
What do I have here? Caribbean jerk.
So,
any new vaccine news, by the way? Or should we get into that later after we get into Kobayashi and his eating?
Yeah, let's stick to wings. I do have some new information that I wanted to talk about involving that kind of stuff, actually, that I came across today. It's getting kind of silly out there. You know what I mean? It's getting real silly. There's a lot of I think we might be in crunch time for one of these people to jump on it and start making a bunch of money with that vaccine. So I actually did do a decent amount of research on some topics that I wanted to go over with some people. But regarding the carnies involved in the food and eating competition. Now, Kobayashi was like the guy that broke out in the 2000s, I believe, and like made it to the mainstream. This is when they started putting it on ESPN. You know, this guy's eating hot dogs, Nathan's Hot Dogs, my first
World
name.
famous.
Yeah, world famous Nathan's Hot Dogs. And he ate a lot. I mean, eventually the guy that holds the record now, an American. That's right. Yeah. Not unlike ourselves. And his record, I think, is about 70. Can I get a...
More than that. World record hot dog, huh?
I think it's 70. In a certain...
I thought it was like 200.
That's a lot. I do know that the guy that has the record, he says at one point he did get to 70. He was hoping for 69 at one point. In an art interview with TMZ, they're asking him, like, what is your prep? I was paying attention to his prep. He's like, oh yeah, eat a lot of fruits and vegetables the night before.
Mark,
water. Yeah. Don't eat all day. Show up, and they're like, well, and then I just fill my face. And they're like, how much weight are you gaining post competition? How much would you guess
that he gained? Like the day after the competition, how much does he weigh?
The moment the competition is over. Because remember, they're dunking these in water while they're eating them. You know what I mean? They're not
30 pounds.
24 pounds.
His
And
name
then they
Joey
asked him-
Chestnut. With 73.
73.
73. Yeah, Joey Chestnut. That doesn't sound like a real name, right? Joey Chestnut. Hey, you got to see this guy. I know he eats like 70 hot dogs. Named Joey Chestnut. Joey Chestnut knows how to eat a hot dog. Hey,
He doesn't really know though, does he? He dunks the bun in water. It's like everything, you know. It's like the Rand theory. They gamify the world. So now you've got people, you know, engaging in an innocent enough competitive, you know, excessive competitive eating competition. Whereas before they would eat as you know, as fast as they could. Now they're like, you know, they're like Lance Armstrong. They're doping. Well, I got you. They're doping. So he's and he's gaining, like, they're dunking the bun in the water. It's disgusting. What? I'd like to see a man try to out eat an animal. They have anything like that? Who would eat the most hot dogs?
Kobayashi,
Bear?
when he was very young, bear versus man.
You gotta be shitting me. That bear tore him up, didn't it?
It was just a hot dog eating competition. He didn't wrestle.
The bear
No.
tore him up on the hot dogs, though, didn't he?
So here's how the rules work of that competition. Basically, actually, what it is they both come out, and it's a grizzly bear. It wasn't just a small bear; it was a full-blown carny grizzly bear, like a trained, ferocious.
Chain it up.
Sound effects in the background. And the rules are: the moment the bear starts to eat a hot dog, Kobayashi gets to start. Right? He gets to join in. You have to wait for the bear to initiate the pile of hot dogs. So Kobayashi is waiting. He's waiting, getting ready to pick it up. Bear sniffing the hot dogs. They're like, is it ever going to start? All of a sudden, the bear touches one with his lip and inhales it, sucks it in, and you just see Kobayashi go like, "Oh no! This is gonna be the grizzly bear. This is gonna be hotter than I think." So he just starts, and the grizzly bear just inhaling this thing, destroys him. It was just such a. I mean, these carnies just like that's what they do. Back in the day, the carnival, that was a big attraction at the carnival. Man versus bear, right?
Yeah.
Not as popular anymore because probably for PETA reasons and stuff. But they just take the trained bear, get the wrestler come out, hit him up a little bit.
Yeah.
Did you ever watch that TV show, Man vs. Animals? Like it was all those different competitions.
No.
There was one where they had.
Did they really do it, or did they simulate the competitions?
No, they really did it.
Oh,
They did it. They were clearly trained animals, though, always. But the one that I recently saw was sumo wrestler versus orangutan. What was the competition?
I don't know.
Tug
Jogging?
of war. Tug of war.
Tug of war.
Who won?
The orangutan
Of course.
yanked his ass over like it was nothing.
Well, they were standing up on pedestals, and I think a sumo wrestler would have gotten in trouble if he would have just yanked an orangutan on television right off of a pedestal. So I don't know if it was like a legit win or if it was
But
a complete, fake thing. So the fact that we talk about carnies and marks all the time, I kind of think for the listeners, it might be beneficial for us to kind of backtrack and kind of really expound on that a little bit more, make it a little easier to because the reason we do it, first of all, it's so
it's the best model. It's currently the best model, scientifically proven.
Yeah, that's right. There's a lot of unnecessary information out there, and what we've done is we've kind of whittled down a way to discuss these topics in a condensed way without going like it's just there's a bunch of nonsense out there. If somebody's trying to work somebody and just pull one over on them for money or just to trick them, they're a fucking carny. That's what they are. You know what I mean? There's carnies at the carnival. There's carnies in wrestling. These guys are carnies. They're just everyone knows it's fake. You go to the carnival, that's not real. The games are rigged. But then there's carnies in like
the church. The church, the word carnival, comes from the I don't know if you can hear me or not, but the word carnival comes from the church. Right? You have the Mardi Gras and the Carnival.
Oh yeah.
So you have the excuse me.
The carnival is like the salesman. It's the go ahead.
Well, it's like the sales arena, It's like it's like Pleasure Island in Pinocchio. It's like the Babylon, It's trying to get it's like a Lovecraftian entity in a sense. It's just expanding mindlessly, but just self-perpetuating, putting itself over all the time, and then all the carnies work for it, and then the marks are gravitated toward it in order for the carnies, not for the carnies, fulfillment, at least not primarily, but for the carnies' material gain to win money. The carny calls the mark is the customer, is always the customer, right? Or the sucker, or the sap, or the target, or the fan, or the enthusiast. But the carny is always after the mark's money, so they'll come up with any kind of fucking gimmick, shoot this basketball through this hoop that's 12 feet tall, and the damn ball clearly won't even fit through the rim. But maybe perhaps one
oval
way.
Rim, oval rim, round ball. No. So explain the mark then, so that just to be for continuity.
Well, the mark is the guy who he's the target of the carny, and he's pretty much everyone who isn't a carny is a mark. And not that a lot of carnies are also marks too, but not all marks are carnies. It's
hierarchical.
Yeah, right. Yeah, absolutely. Hierarchical. Yeah, it's a hierarchical system. Yeah, this is why you have your elected officials and whatnot. Just a bunch of carnies. Your Supreme Court justices. Did you see with this Kavanaugh character with his sexual trysts and all that?
Yeah.
Right. I mean, what a bunch of carny bullshit. This is the kind of stuff that these carnies are impressed by and think
it was
is
a full-on
important.
circus show.
Right.
Full-on
Yeah.
Circus show. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. About sex in college and all this weird shit. This is what the Supreme Court justice. Not that Clarence Thomas didn't have his own questions to answer about Long Dong Silver with Anita Hill in the 80s, but it's just an ever perpetuating carnival. And when you look backward in history, what you don't find is a period prior of refinement and sophistication. You find just more carny bullshit. Whether dragging out the goddamn dinosaur bone from the fucking La Brea tar pit, and now we found a fucking, the missing link. They got the Jesuit carnies over there dummying up, gimmicking up some fucking, what was his name? Piltdown Man's skull. Passing that shit off to the other carnies, because the carnies aren't really, and this is kind of a, overarching meta for the model. But the carnies aren't superhuman. They're subject to every single frailty and every single frailty and circumstance that any other human is subject to some varying degrees, right? The super rich carny is a lot less subject to the conditions of hunger or something, for example. But
they're not subject to maybe the laws that we're subject to, but they're subject to the laws of nature.
Mm-hmm. And the human condition. They're not angels. Right. These are fucking. If there's a line between criminal and non-criminal, and the carny is either completely over the line or as close to it as humanly possible. But they're coming from the side of the criminal, only towed up to the non-criminal line. They don't come from the non-criminal line, walk their way over to the criminal line and tow up. They're always starting over here.
Right. It's
maybe
like how
sucked in, but
it's like how when people say that they found like so-and-so's company got taken down because it turned out it was a pyramid scheme. And it's like all of capitalism is a pyramid scheme. I hate to tell you, like any business is a pyramid scheme. Those people just happen to not, they just got caught. That was
their territory got invaded. There's so many competing carnivals. There's like the overarching structure of like your what does he say, network, your dollars, your Reich marks and all this, one ecumenical and humane vast network of currency. But there's still certain territories within the carnival. So just because all these guys work together to kayfabe the world and, pretend that the monkey man exists and pretend that the space and aliens and all this nonsense, just because they're all not willing to break each other's kayfabe doesn't mean that they're also not plotting to move in on the other one's territory at any time. So,
and kayfabe, we got to backtrack, keep it for continuity.
It's kind of like the mythology of the class, the perpetuated, like the belief, the perpetuation of the fake. It's like the carny cover story or the carny angle, like Honest Abe,
right?
Like,
well, the key though to kayfabe,
bit of a gimmick
that a lot of people don't understand, because they do use kayfabe, like we've talked about before in wrestling, to like kind of as their characters. But the key to kayfabe is to protect the finish. It's not just to be in character or to lie.
Right. It's not. It's,
you know, you have in the finish is the respect of the audience, or it's basically you don't tell the audience when you're done that you were lying to them, and it's not just necessarily that that because you want to entertain. In some industries it is, but like in what you're kind of talking about, it's like you just don't break the character. Once you've broken the character, you're not in kayfabe. You were just a mark then.
You've broken the whole universe. When one character breaks, the whole fucking universe falls apart, because it can't be. The suspension of disbelief struggles mightily when Hulk Hogan, is like tells everyone that the $1 Million Man, his opponent, isn't really, a millionaire or something. That it's all fake. That his name's really not, well, I think his name was Ted DiBiase, but tells him, this guy's isn't his real name. He went to high school over here. Well, it's like, well, what the fuck are you doing wrestling in then? Like last week you said he was fucking real. Last week you acted like it. So what about you too? You can't. The shattering of the kayfabe just wrecks the credibility of the whole universe. So it's a big, big fucking lie, all stacked up on top of each other. A bunch of fraud and phony bullshit. Because they dress it up in all kinds of terms about all this influencer and all this nonsense now, but really just a fucking carny liar.
You're a fucking carny. That's all you're. You're a fucking carny bitch.
You carny bitch. You want people to come to your joint, your booth at the carnival, your joint. You want to come to your joint and you want to fucking win their money. They call it, the carny doesn't earn money from the game. He wins the mark's money. By what? Lying through kayfabe or deceit through kayfabe. Some might say it's all in good fun, and sometimes it is, right? But it's one thing. It's one thing when it's, the man pretending to be asleep so the wrestler can cut his hair. It's a whole nother thing when they're trying to, tell you can't go to work and make a living, but they don't kayfabe the price of the groceries. That shit's real. The kayfabe of the costs that's all a shoot. None of that's worked. I mean, it's worked at the level for them to make money, but it's not a work for my wallet. It costs literally this money because I'm at the food mark. So all the fucking people who are smart enough to carny up on the food, and close ranks around that as long a time immemorial, they've got a captive audience. So you think they're going to go fucking breaking kayfabe and telling everybody that there's fucking, human waste in the food or something? Hell no.
Right. Right. Of course. Well, because it also is relevant to Marx's discussion of like the bourgeois, which is like the idea of the bourgeois being like the ruling class. But the issue about the bourgeois is that they are absolute marks to the class above them. They are the managerial class, and they have to do what they have to do so that they don't lose that position, because they see everyone below them and they know what it is if they don't keep the kayfabe going.
And closer to the, the lower part of the middle class, which is you're still a pretty high income earning, like. If you consider let me think here, one of these Supreme Court justices is going to be middle class too, right? I mean, he's not the fucking baron. He's not a fucking Rockefeller. He's not the elite. So what is he? He's not the elite. He's not the fucking low class. He's got to be in the middle. So the middle's a big spectrum. Brad Pitt is not a fucking elite. He's a fucking bourgeois carny bitch, right? So these guys, they also believe their own bullshit. They're also sucked up into the kayfabe too. Like they don't. Not only do they just perpetuate the kayfabe, but they believe their shit too, which is why they're marks for themselves. Which is
at best they're a smark. At
the very best, but even then they're so self-deceived.
It's just a smart mark, meaning you're aware that this is all fake and gay to an extent, right? Or that there's somebody's trying to pull one over, or that there are tactics being used that are dishonest to the marks, and you're aware of that. But here's the thing about the smark. Just because you're aware that it's fake, like if you're like a fan of wrestling, we use wrestling, and you're aware that it's fake, you still are choosing to purchase the ticket to go to the show. So now you're more of a mark than the actual marks, because at least the marks have like this idea of innocence on their side for why they're doing
and that they're doing something good. Like, they're filling their pocket. Yeah, they're innocent in this sort of sense, but
well, innocence in what their relationship is to the carny, where they don't understand that they're being worked. They're
not at the lowest end of the mark. Yeah.
Right.
But yeah.
Right.
Because the carny up there, he's a fucking mark too. And these carnies, they're all carnying each other too. There's this adage of you can't what do they say? You can't bullshit a bullshitter. I think you can. I think these people are just full of bullshit. All of them, from the fucking bullshit all the way down. They're not the easiest people in the world to con or con men. That's how they keep getting sucked up into these cons to con other people. They're typically disastrous consequences, but once in a while, better. So they con themselves.
The way capitalism in like our Western society is set up, it essentially trains people from a young age using, hipping people to advertising and marketing. They say things like sex sells. Everyone knows that, like, when you're watching a Burger King commercial and they got a girl with like huge, fantastic titties, you know what I mean? That like, they're like, oh, they're just trying, and then she eats the burger. It's like, oh, they're just using that girl to try to sell to me. So they're like, people are hip to like these tactics of what carnies use. So, and then with the way the money system is just like, in order to succeed to what, being successful and being comfortable, you have to kind of become a carny in order to do that. In one way or another. So it's kind of like the entire society, it's just all carnies and marks. That's all it is all around. That people have been conditioned to try to carny against each other, because what's the alternative? The alternative is it becomes very stressful, uncomfortable. It's not the end of the world to not have the money. It's just uncomfortable and stressful. And so it kind of like, people might not even understand that they're carnies, but they're using carny tactics. How many people you see on YouTube, like, that's what we do. Obviously, we're just carnies on here trying to do it, but we're just doing it a little bit of a different way. We're just talking about the other carnies. These other carnies don't want to tell you. I don't know if it's like because they're just imitating each other. They don't understand that, like,
they're sucked up into the fucking bullshit too.
That's exactly what it is, because they're actually a bunch of marks. They're not really carnies. What they are is they're usually marks that are imitating a carny that they watch, and they're like, "Oh, I'm going to do it too." I think, and that's all it is. They end up coming on here, and then they act the way that they think that somebody on YouTube is supposed to act. And then you got these people, especially in the conspiracy world, that go nuts thinking that everybody's a shill because they're sniffing some bullshit. And this bullshit they're sniffing is that person's being a carny, and you think they're being a shill because they're just they're using carny tactics. You're sniffing insincerity because it's there, but it might not be nefarious. It's just a mark trying his best.
They call it like what do they call those? Alibi, I think alibi games or something. Alibi stories or something. No, not alibi games, I think. Where you where like certain aspects of the carnival, like there's the little duck pond where the ducks go around, the kid can pick it up, and they always win every time. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Yeah.
Oh yeah. So the kid can pick it up, and they always win every time. And that's a certain type of game, right?
Oh, okay.
There's another type of game where it's like throw the darts, right? And so there's some moniker skill involved. Then there's yet another type of game where it's completely rigged, but there's another type even where it's not the rigging of the game that gets you to lose. It's them fucking you on the rules. So this is the alibi game where it's like you stepped over the line. Oh, you had to throw it underhanded. You lean over the thing too much. It's after they've gotten your money, then you try to, complete the thing, and then they tell you why you can't do it, which is some bullshit carny story about some rule you broke, and you're like, what the fuck are you talking about?
It's like my boy DMX, crushing it in the rap game in the 90s, a little bit into the 2000s. Right when he gets to the top, what do? Fuck him on the taxes.
Oh, the tax carnies.
Yeah. They'll get you in the end. You lead you all the way to the end. You make them their money because they're making their money the whole way, and then
it all back in the end. It all washes out to the sea, the currency. It all washes out.
DMX was coming out, saying some real shit. He was talking. He's like, "Yo, oh, hey, all these rappers is gay as shit." He's saying that everybody was gay. He's like, so I don't know if you don't play ball and you got like a voice, maybe they sick him after you. What do you got? Hey, Kazooie, do you have a count on our wings going?
Yeah. I do.
Oh, really? Where are we at right now?
I think you're at 8.
Okay.
OS is at 10. But
no, that doesn't seem right. That doesn't seem right. So you don't have an accurate count. Let's do this.
I've moved into the hot.
2,
Hold on. Look at this. It's making me nervous.
3, 4.
Oh, Jesus. This is going to be hot.
5, 6, 7.
That's so bad.
8, 9. I think I'm at 9. I've got a bunch of side wings, so I'm not counting any of those individually, but I'm at 9 actually. So give me 9. 10. Found a 10th. Give me 10.
That's fake. You had that bone on there already when you came down.
Did I?
And you're at 10 OS, I'm pretty sure.
Hold on, my
Count your
mouth
goal.
on fire from the 1,
You
2.
look like a homeless person right now.
I know. 3. No, you had it backwards because I'm at 8.
Oh. Do you like OS more than you like me that much more? I think
Everybody does.
everybody does. Yeah, I was going to say, I don't want to make you feel bad if you do, but is it so much more that you'd be willing to lie for a
Most
wing
people would.
challenge?
Most people would.
Yeah,
Noble lie.
the noble lie. So it's because you're a good person.
And we got one more
I'm
question.
not.
People want to know what OS is drinking.
Oh.
Well, I got this glass here. I've got Zephyr Hills water from Zephyr Hills, Florida, and Bud Light Platinum. See how it's got the AB on there? AB testing, the 1 and the 2, making the 3.
Oh, into the 3.
That's
Now we're
right.
talking about the 3. Now we're into the 3 now.
6,
Don't give
and
me
and it's
credit.
got the 6%. The bottle itself, it's like a mandala. It's just full of symbolism. Anheuser.
PEDs, like
Hmm?
PEDs are coming in now because 10 wings right off the bat. Turns out I did a shit job of preparing for a competition. I'm not feeling full, but I'm starting to be like when I honestly expected Kazooie to say like when I was like, what number am I at? I thought he was gonna say like 75.
Oh, I knew I was low.
This is not good. So I'm digging into the PEDs right away.
Tortoise in the hair.
We're about to go deep.
I got to get the second wet wipe before this shit sets in on my lip. I'll tell you what. I went to the hot next. You know, this is what's the hot on the sauce meter at
Oh yeah, did you get that for us,
Kazooie?
Kazooie?
I think it's like the 4th hottest one, maybe 5th,
Just normal
something like
hot?
that. Normal hot. Oh goddamn! All this oil and shit. All right.
Is the mild hotter than the hot?
What?
No.
I'm throwing a Hail Mary here.
So you didn't try out that original buffalo?
That's what I got. The original. I called it mild. It's the original. It's like the original buffalo. Where's that at?
Well, let's get the hot first,
Yeah, I know.
because
Okay.
then I got the big gun coming out next. After we get the hot, tell me where the. You know how to use Google Image, because what I would have done is go BW3 sauce Google Image. Show me the bottle. This is what I did earlier.
Yeah.
Then you can crush it. Look at that.
What if
Mango habanero.
high
High on the
Kazooie can't
Scoville.
read?
Oh, that'd be tough.
Yeah.
Because we can read. I know. I've seen him read before.
So mango habanero is second is the second hottest in the hot category.
All
Is
right.
there anything above hot?
It's above hot. Yeah.
No, is there anything above the hot category, like a sizzling?
There's wild.
Okay.
That's above this. One above this.
So
Oh, Jesus.
I have a feeling that if I didn't bring that up, that OS was not going to clarify that the hot is not the top of the pyramid.
I literally said that just a minute ago when I asked Kazooie to look it
Mango's
up.
in 4th place.
All right, fine.
Mango habanero?
Yep.
You said it was second.
Or yeah, I got that wrong. 4th place.
Can't read. Can't read.
Well, that's fine.
Okay.
That's fine. Still, it's gonna be
What
hot as fuck.
about
Let's see.
the Asian zing?
That's in the girl category.
Oh god.
There's a gay guy. It shows it next to a gay guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's in medium. That's mid range.
Mark.
You're a mark.
Big time. Big time.
My wife has that same hat thing you have on.
Oh, headbander, Indiana Pacers.
Oh no, she doesn't. She's not.
I work for
my wi-
competitive
yeah.
reasons.
Somehow my wife comes off like she's less into dudes than you.
Yep. Yep.
Because she's with me. All right, so I'm looking at
This
11.
isn't hot at all.
Oh, humble brag.
It's
This
hot.
is okay. How about the regular buffalo? Where are we at on that, Kazooie?
Base. Bottom bitch.
What do you think about our truth wing break? We just go. Let's just talk about the wings again for a couple minutes.
The original is 6th place, apparently.
It is or isn't?
It is 6th place.
All right.
Hmm.
So it's just barely below. It's 2 below. What's in between 4 and 6? What's that flavor?
5 is in between 4 and 6.
It's just the hot
Yeah.
flavor.
Oh, okay.
Which I've already crushed 4 of.
Oh, you also had hot?
That
What?
flavor was pretty nasty, to be honest.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't remember anyone asking your opinion on the flavor of the hot.
You don't normally like hot stuff though, do you, Kazooie?
Wait, say that again?
You normally don't like the hot stuff though, right?
No, not too much.
So I
Aren't
watched
you
this video.
Latino? Isn't he Latino?
I'm not getting into that racism.
I'm American.
I watched this video where the carny said if you break this part off the wing, right,
Yeah.
then you twist it. Oh shit! Twist it and pull this here bone out,
Yeah.
which he did with much more finesse than I've done. All right, here's one, and then you pull this one out, this little gimmick out. There you go. Then it leaves you this kind of sack. These are so
Ugh,
gross.
That doesn't look enjoyable to eat like that.
It wasn't enjoyable to do.
Nothing.
So it
about
leaves you this kind of gross. It's kind of sack where it's like they said it, and then it's all meat. Is what they said on the video. They emphasized that on every carny video I watched. All meat. But I tell you, I did it earlier, and what they didn't tell you is that there's also considerable gristle and fat in there too, So.
Yeah.
depending on what they consider meat.
So,
Oh, Jesus. This is getting gross.
let me see you take a bite of that. Kazooie, I'm at 12, yeah?
Let me update that.
Oh, you know what? This goes back to the beginning of the show. So Kobayashi, the Japanese hot dog eating man, there is a TMZ video out there, right? Where this guy they approach him because the other guy that beat him talked about gaining 24 pounds. TMZ approached him. They also approached Kobayashi. Kobayashi says that what is his name? Ricky Two Balls.
Yep.
Two
That's what it was. Ricky Two Dicks is what it was. Yep.
Yeah, that guy.
Mhm.
Kobayashi claims that he cheats,
I guarantee it.
and he explains why. You know why? And at first I go, "Oh my god, it's like this is like carny drama." You know what I mean? Like they're just creating like this tension.
Mm-hmm.
And then this is what Kobayashi says, because his personal sponsor is the same sponsor as the head of the entire hot dog eating competition or whatever competition they're talking about. He goes, so why wouldn't it be in their best interest to have him win? It makes them more money. I'm like, yeah, that's probably right. I thought it was gonna be like some fake kayfabe, fight, but instead he was just like telling it what it was. And now Kobayashi's not allowed to participate anymore.
Shouldn't have been a fucking popping off.
I added that part in. I actually
shouldn't
don't know that at all.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
not true.
Well, if you go and break kayfabe, you go try to kill the territory, they're not going to let you back. Unless they bring you back later as some kind of meta thing, welcome you back as
yeah.
if it didn't happen, and then it's all fucking all over the place again. Goodness gracious.
Will this be
Kobayashi.
13 or 14?
Goodness.
Kazooie.
Hold on.
Is this 13 or 14?
That's 13.
Oh, you son of a bitch. So you're only going to take away wings from me. You'll never accidentally ever give me an extra one, I'm guessing. Huh?
Boy, I'm at 11. I feel a little sick already.
Whoopsie.
Jesus.
Uh-oh.
Why did I buy so many wings?
Because you're a fucking mark.
That's true. Yeah, big time.
That's exactly
Big time.
right.
And I'll tell you what,
watched
when I
a
looked
YouTube
online,
video about how to clean a wing, said it looked gross, said it was gross to do, said it looked gross, and then ate it because you're a fucking mark.
that's
You
exactly
looked
right,
up
boss.
carny videos on YouTube.
That's exactly
Son
right.
of a bitch. You don't come at the champ.
Ah, man, that's exactly right. Jesus. I'm gonna put these away for a minute. Try
That's
to.
why I had to dig into the PEDs, my friend.
What? How many did I say I was at? 11.
8.
Yeah. Yeah. Mm.
Hey, Hey, Kazooie, when he said he was at 11, what did you have him marked down on the stream?
8.
You only had him at 8 still?
Yeah.
What are you doing over there?
Kazooie's running his Twitch channel right now, opening Pokemon gimmicks.
Are you opening Pokemon cards right now?
I'm moderating the chat.
Oh, good.
Is there
Shut
stuff going
those-
on in the chat?
Yeah.
I'm just kidding. I don't want to know. All right, back to our.
As long as there's no
conversation.
drama with the marks.
Oh yeah, is there drama with the marks? How are the marks doing? Let's check on the marks.
They're all right for now.
Are they fighting about anything?
No, we got a new member in the Discord.
Who?
Welcome that person.
Yeah, I don't really. It's not that important, actually. If you said they're a new member to the Patreon, the stream would
Hey,
have shut
Kazooie.
down. And we don't,
What is his name?
who's,
I think it's a she.
What is her name?
Lizbeth.
It doesn't matter what
No.
your name is.
I thought you were going to say Marcus Stewart.
Nope. Get out of here. We don't need to know. We're welcome. Now, the next thing I can recommend that you do, Martha Stewart,
Marcus Stewart.
Marcus Stewart, is to do the right thing.
These wings weren't cheap. God, they're
You're
gross.
halfway there. So the right thing then to do would be to go over to the Patreon, become
The
a
ticket
smart-
booth.
the
That's
ticket
right.
booth, and do the right thing,
Participate in the carnival, not just walk around it.
like a
Right.
lot lice that you are.
Not
I'm
just
not
you.
saying that. I'm
all-
not saying that Martha's a lot lice. I'm saying, you know,
I do.
because I'm gonna lock this thing down.
You know what? Last time I was talking to ID Conspire one time. After I was at the carnival and I'd asked him, stay with my son, and since he's such a stellar basketball player, I'd asked him what I needed to do to win the gimmick shot, the big basketball shot that I earlier criticized, said only an idiot would play it. So, but the logos came over me while I was there.
Oh,
The Carney spirit got in me,
Yeah.
and I was like, I'm gonna do this. I had this feeling, this feeling. I chased the feeling. My son was like, you should do it. And I said, all right, I'm gonna do this. And I'd had this pinched nerve in my neck at the time too, of course, but it had healed a little bit, a lot better. It was a lot better by that point,
Did you
but
get that
still pretty
injured-
traumatic.
Did you get the
Yeah.
injured neck from being a mark for your job?
Yeah, I think yeah, let's just say I did. Yeah. So then, but anyway, I'm like talking to the guy. And I'm like the guy running the gimmick, the Carney, and I'm like, what do I have to do to win or whatever? And he said, you just got to make one, because he had kind of staggered prizes up and down the basketball joint. And I was like, well, why do you have these small ones? He's like, if you make one, you get any of this shit. And I was like, all right, well, that's a good deal for $7. Like any of it, the big Stewie Griffin stuff. Stewie Griffin, I'll take that.
Yeah.
So I hit up ID real
SpongeBob?
quick.
SpongeBob.
I hit up ID real quick, and I was like, what do I need to do to make it in? And
Oh,
and he says,
you went to
he
the
says-
coach. You went to the
I
coach.
did. Yeah. During the timeout, I went over to the coach
Yeah.
on the phone, and he said,
Oh, T.
he said, make sure that your left hand is in the angle of the sun, and your right hand the angle of the moon. This fucking Carney shit here.
What if it was
God.
December?
Yeah, exactly. Well, he
Yeah.
didn't. I don't think he was. I think he was accounting for the sidereal
Oh,
astrology. So then he's like, really though. Then he gave me some of the Carney bullshit about sun and moon. So I fucking launched that ball up there anyway. I was like, thanks a lot, buddy. And then twisted my neck out, fucking humiliated myself. I didn't even make it up to the thing. So as soon as I fucking went back to shoot it, right? God damn, this fucking pop happened in my neck. And I was like, oh my God. And like all the strength went out of my arm.
oh,
My
I
son's
thought
always-
this was gonna.
No.
in front of
Triumph? You
his
thought it was
son.
going to be Triumph?
I
No,
thought
I'm
it
at the
was.
carnival. No,
Oh.
it's a Triumph at the carnival. The fucking Carnies win. Not when you're funneling money for the games. So
Oh.
it was just humiliating. And the
Uh-huh.
Carney, it was just all he had to do was stand there and just kind of give me the eye, And just
Right.
like he'd answer my questions, but he didn't offer a bunch of extra information. He just wait there, and I'm like, "What about?" And he's like, "Oh, I got the answer." So, fuck.
Yeah, that sucks, man.
No, it doesn't suck. It was just poor showing, and
No, yeah, no, it probably doesn't bother you. That's why you remember every single detail.
it's memorable. That's for sure.
Yeah, I love going to the carnival myself. I've actually made the oval hoop one time, and it was before I learned how to play basketball. So it was a complete. I probably like over missed. You know what I mean? And
Mhm.
I made it go in. So that was Then when I started, that's the worst thing. There's nothing worse than you see a motherfucker that like knows how to shoot a hoop and wants, or you know what I mean? Like he gets in proper form and he's trying. You're like, you're such a fucking mark. Good luck, motherfucker. The last thing you would do to a game that is shaped opposite of the game that you're playing is to treat it like it's the game that you play, right? Why the fuck would it make sense to
'Cause you're-
shoot the fucking, you know what I mean?
Mark,
Yeah,
right? 'Cause you're a Mark.
fucking Mark. Yeah,
That's right.
exactly
That's right.
I think.
These people-
Go ahead.
These people have these big fucking. They buy all these fish cheap as fuck.
Mhm.
Keep them in these coolers, barely alive, and then in these bags of water, and then they get the Mark to give them money to take the fish home and be a big burden on them from now on. What a fucking deal!
Huh.
They call it a pet. Pet is another word for burden. So
Right. Yeah. We had at our carnival one time, you know, they got the Ferris wheel and then they got the mice games. And
I
they
love
got,
it.
like right in between those things, they've got certain types of children that will throw the mice off the Ferris wheel.
Mice game. You can win mice. You're saying?
You can win mice like you can win a goldfish. They have it. It comes in a little. Oh, it's
Oh,
horrible.
that's some
Talk about a
real carny
burden.
shit. Yeah,
Talk
real
about a
carny,
burden.
guaranteed.
You send your kid to the carnival and he's like, can I go to the carnival for 2 hours? And you're like, oh yeah, no problem. He's like, well, that's gonna be $95, And then
Absolutely.
he comes back with a fucking rat into your goddamn house.
Couple of them. They can
Not
reproduce
these
that
kids,
way.
because not these kids, and never a kid after this, because they made sure they like changed they made it a law in our town, like an ordinance, that people were not allowed to like sell mice at certain types of events because kids started throwing them off the Ferris wheel.
See, you have to make laws. You have to pass these ordinances to deal with the fucking carnies. Not that the people passing the ordinances aren't their own fucking carnies themselves, but
Right. Oh yeah,
They're-
it's carnies regulating carnies. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
And then
it's hierarchical. Hierarchical.
hierarchical. That's right. No, never do they ban the carny though outright. They're not like, well, you can't. Well, some places they do, but they just prohibit certain of the carnies' practices. No more freaks. No more.
Right.
They used to have stripping.
Midgets.
Yeah. No more display of human.
Retards.
What do they call it? Human exhibitions of human disability or something like that. Human deformity. No more of that. But you can still come and peddle your gimmicks for whatever and swindle everybody.
Retards. Physically.
But they used to have strippers and all this
Explaining
stuff.
to people in the audience.
They used to have strippers and all kinds of stuff at the carnival. People fighting bears, but then they slowly gambling, and they slowly phase it out as those things gain more legitimacy in mainstream society. As the strip club becomes, some carny up the hierarchy is like, fuck this. These traveling carnies with these strippers are raking it in. I'll just establish it here, and then not have to, get my cut of the action instead of these fucking guys taking it all home. And then I'll just kill the competition while I'm at it.
Yeah, every fucking time. That's exactly. I mean, that's just how it works in every single goddamn industry. That's all.
They just took over the territory.
Yeah.
And what's the carny going to do? Because he doesn't have his roots anywhere. So what is he going to do about it? He's not an NGO. He doesn't have any. He's got money. He's got all the discouraging behavioral things that go along with peddling vice all the time. But he doesn't have any necessarily political power. Not the traveling carny per se, but not like your local carny judge.
What would be the value of him being part of an NGO? What's the comparison?
No, I'm saying like an NGO. He's not like one of
What
these.
does
He's
the
not
NGO
like
do
backed
then?
by is always backed by some fucking greater foundation and greater foundation still, and tied into the fucking government. So they have all this full force of like
the independent
legitimacy.
carny. You mean the independent carny we're talking about? I see.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He doesn't have all that going. It's like when the NGO says that they're going to redevelop your area or something like that. Well, you're out there marking out in the street, trying to talk about property and shit like a fucking mark. And that's fine, and maybe you're smart and you're going to tell them about how the Rockefellers did this and they're part of the Ford Foundation and the Nazis and stuff. It doesn't matter. You're just yelling in the wind. Behind the scenes, the carnies are just, we'll put the generator over here. we'll put this joint over here. This one will be where the ball trap is. You know, what about the guy screaming in the street? Who cares? Who fucking cares? He won't be there once we get it started.
You go, we got a bunch of mice in the food. And you go, what are we going to do with it? Like, we'll replace it with the goldfish tonight.
Right.
Well, what happens if they start throwing the mice off the Ferris wheel? And they're like, we were going to kill them anyway.
Okay, who gives a fuck?
What are these carnies finding mice to sell to children in bulk? What are they doing? They're traveling with mice now.
I'm sure.
What the hell? Yeah.
And what do they do? And what do they do when they outlaw it? You know, and now there's like 3 territories in a row they're going to drown them, put them in a bag and drown them, I'm sure. And then they just fucking pick up some more at the pet store on the way, right before they get into the territory that allows it.
I mean, what mouse has the best life out of all those situations? Like at best, like
Stuart Little, that Stuart Little guy.
No, I just meant like pretty much every one of those mice probably gonna die some tragic death or very short.
Oh yeah, tortured by some fucking psychotic, poor twisted child, the product of some fucking absentee parenting and media saturation, ultra violence.
If they had a parent with them, they wouldn't have been allowed to.
Fuck no!
Said, no, you're not grabbing the
mouse.
No,
digging. Even what kind of milquetoast cuck bitch would allow that? You know, like you gotta. No matter what, that's exactly right. No matter what the consequences on that one, no matter how much your kid's gonna say they hate you, the mouse isn't coming home in the gimmicky fucking. And we're not also buying the $15 gimmick cage that it needs to live. Of
course not. No, not at all.
No.
I had all the gimmick pets when I was a kid. I had a chameleon.
Big one. Total gimmick. Yeah. You were like the kid listening to heavy metal. Did you have a switchblade or like a butterfly knife?
I wasn't allowed to be around sharp objects, bro. No,
did you have a tarantula?
No, I had an iguana. I had hamsters, and I had a hamster once that bit the tip of my finger. You ever been bit by a hamster?
Fuck no. Goddamn no. Why would I be bit by a fucking hamster?
Well,
I'm sorry I'm so animated about it, but goddamn. What are you talking about?
Sorry, I got bit by a hamster.
Sorry, I grew up in the woods.
Sprayed blood over my entire room, all my walls, just from a single bite from a hamster. Pretty sketchy shit.
I guarantee it. Where'd you pick that thing up? Past Pets or something?
Yeah. Well, we had this pet shop named Eddie's Pet Store. And the
Carney fucking god.
Oh yeah. Straight out of the 80s every day. He's got like the jeans, or maybe the 90s. Let's get the 90s. Definitely.
This is gimmick. His gimmick is
90s light colored jeans. Got the belt, got the tucked in t-shirt, but it's like the grayish white blend shirt with like Gap or something on the front, like in giant letters.
Yes.
Got the mustache, mullet but he's bald on the top. And his name was Eddie, but he went there and he was very kind of like if you were there at like Eddie's Pet Shop, it felt like you were at like Eddie's Sex Emporium or something.
Eddie's Pestorium.
Now, guess what Eddie's Pet Shop recently did? They sold a Wallaroo to a Filipino family in our area. No, no, they don't eat Wallaroos. They eat cats. So the Wallaroo escaped, and it was on the Chicago news. They had they had police driving over medians on our side, like the highway off of the highway. They're driving over the medians, chasing it. Their lights are on. It's hilarious. Little Wallaroo, it was actually pretty big, but it made the Chicago news, and they just got it returned to them. They eventually caught it. I think it was like a 14-hour chase. It was the biggest news story we've had in a while amid the pandemic.
Yeah, was it wearing a mask?
No, it wasn't wearing a mask. It's a Wallaroo. Stupid question.
They fucking Animals are all carny shit. Anything to do with animals, you're some kind of fucking carny. With selling them, breeding them.
Oh my gosh, my wife actually get into breeding golden retrievers. I'm like,
out of her mind. Was your wife into get rich quick kind of? Like, is your wife one of these people that sees some shit on the internet, like the stories where it's clearly a scam, clearly fake? It's like new law in Florida says you can breed 6 golden retrievers, $35,000. I'm doing that.
Well, she's like that, but it's because I rub off on her.
Right.
So it's because I'm so much like that historically. the amount of get rich quick schemes that I've gone after. I mean, I did the YouTube carnies real estate people.
Buy it for $1. Buy foreclosed properties for $1 in shithole
Yeah.
Detroit. Pay the tax. Yeah. How'd you do on
I
that?
did all those probably. I mean, nowhere, absolutely nowhere. I just wasted like it's like the conspiracy shit. It's the same thing. It's like, well, there was a year. That's it. Nothing happened. Nothing changes. Right? That's it. You're like,
You got a lot
it's
of
cool that I know
information.
those things. Yeah.
Learned a lot of stuff,
Yeah.
and then you look back and you're like, what the fuck what did I even fucking learn?
My attention span's gone down as a result of consuming the information.
Oh, memory
My
shot.
comprehension. Yeah. I've not. Yeah. That nothing. But it's up there. And so it can recall. I can recall shit, but it has to be triggered. I can't just like think about anything.
Right. Yeah. The episodic part is gone. All time, all past self memory is just completely amorphous.
This is interaction with the computers, with all of
Sure,
it.
absolutely.
Oh my god, you consume all that information. That what I mean, how would you explain what's happening?
It's really, I mean, the computer is the device, the medium, but it's also the media itself is the medium. And while the computer is the worst fucking thing ever, the media itself is really the problem. Like, it'd be one thing if people were consuming, constructive things, and but it's even then the volume of it is bad. All this information is going in, and it's just it's such an enormous rate, and it's such a sophisticated design, that it's just you're almost powerless in the face of it. It's an addiction, almost a physiological information addiction. So there's a certain empowerment that comes at the very beginning, I think, when there's an expanding of learning and awareness of the world, somewhat greater understanding, at least of the operational way things work. You kind of smarken up, you become a bit of a smark. And then, so now you know about the Federal Reserve and stuff, but while there was like this feeling associated with that, which people are always, we're in the hunt for feeling, always, meaning, understanding. They're all about feelings, and often they're associated with the past. We want the future feeling to feel like the past. Always, it's our point of reference. The future isn't our point of reference ever for anything. It's always the unknown and the hoped for, and the point of all anxiety too. But we don't have. We associate these things. We identify with the feelings for the best, really. But it's like what are the source of the feelings, and if they're natural and organic and holistic, and good and meaningful in a long-term way, we can build upon them, and we can recall them and learn how to kind of implement their manifestation in our own lives. But when they're instant and triggered, and they're just synthetic because they're not really the feeling of real meaning, they're just the simulacra of the feeling, and it's just a cascading.
They stimulate something in you without actually having the thing take place. It's just like watching a horror movie and you trick yourself into being afraid, or a romance comedy or something. Like, these are all very synthetic emotions that are just being kind of like
Sure, yeah, right. You've sucked them in, and you've identified with it too. So
not natural. It's not an actual association. So
no, it's a fake feeling.
Yeah.
So you might be somewhat. You might, and then you start to associate fear and things like that with these fucking boogeymen and hobgoblins and stuff. But really,
like who?
Like any kind of satanic nonsense, any kind of like carnival horror shit, carny media bullshit, Freddy Krueger, the next most graphic, pornographic, violent fucking slaughterhouse movie. This is like the fear for the person who's engaged in that stuff, but they're even trying to chase that feeling of that fear. How many jump scares did it have? They've commodified that. They've how many they smarken up to that, and so really it's the fake feeling of the smartening up that's what the chase is, and it's just like an addict. It's just like a junkie with anything.
This is why we've come to like people can't. I know it's like there's no really a definition for postmodernism, but I look at it as like a very like it's a self-referential thing, almost like it's a beyond irony thing that's based off of like you've progressed so much from um, the consumer adapting to a thing and then it needing to be manipulated the best that it can from like what its natural state was. It's so many layers over the years. They just selling the same product over and over and over again that eventually it starts becoming the only thing that's left to do that's kind of original is to talk is to be self-referential. So the example would be like comedy. That's what I can relate it in comedy. In like the 80s, you had like really slapsticky, crappy stand up compared to now. You know, it's like some of it's fun, but it's like it's very easy to where the joke's coming, you know where the punchline's coming. The audience becomes hip to the style of those jokes and the formulas of them. So what happens is like the 90s people turned it a little, got a little bit more edgy, a little bit more raw because the audience wasn't hip to the product anymore. They couldn't find the punchline, so they were getting tricked, they were laughing again. If somebody from the 80s came back and showed up in the 90s, they'd be like, "Oh, this guy's like an old thing, you know. We already know everything he's going to say or where to laugh. It's not as funny." And then you go to the 2000s, and eventually you get to like modern era with comedy, which is like Family Guy, where every single joke is them commenting on themselves. It's not even a joke about a thing anymore. It's a joke about themselves, and it's all ironic and all this crap. You know what I mean? This is like every product gets to that point where it just becomes, just nonsense, just nonsense, too meta,
Incoherent.
Yeah,
And then it's like but you're so
like you said.
you've come by the process of the mark becoming like invested in it more, onboarding it more. They've become the smart mark. The smart they've smartened up to it. Then they're now kind of part of the Leviathan. You know, they're kind of identifying with the Leviathan in a sense. What is it to be a fan of this? Well, I am that. But then you transcend that into I am that, but I'm not like that. I am this. I appreciate it on these other reasons. Well, okay, that's terrific. But you're a fucking mark, and you're fucking sucked into some carny bullshit.
Right.
It's like the art. I mean, it's like art. It's like everything. It's the
postmodern art. It just became about making splatters on trap, making shapes because it's the simulacra. It's you just keep copying the generation before you, and the generation is just copying the generation before that. By the time you get to the fourth generation, you're already copying the generation you're copying before you has already just been an imitation of the two before it. So it's completely unoriginal. It's far away from nature in a natural sense. It's just copying itself.
Until it's unoriginal for the originality of unoriginalness, you know, and then it's beyond the pale. But that's again, I mean, like there's some excellent stuff in the modern arts, of course, but it's all the commercialized stuff too, right? It's all the stuff that the champagne crowd is like, you know, sucked up with. Whether do they really understand the aspect of the aesthetic of it, or do they just get sucked up into the circus of it? And so now all of a sudden their favorite artist is some fucking carny too, right? Is he really a fantastic artist? What does that even mean? But I can tell you all your fucking, your global, your metropolitan citizenry, you know, your advantage class, your highly leisured class find great value in it, you know, for now, and then they'll move on to the next thing, just like in that movie, or just like what was it called, Orpheus in the Underworld. It's just you're just pushed out, right? It's the next bit. You're used up and then thrown out. Some people can recover from it, some can't. But the fucking art crowd, not just the art crowd, any of the crowd, they've consumed you and they're fucking moved on.
Yeah.
Maybe you can get back into it. Maybe you can't. Maybe you were a product of it, or a willing accomplice, or maybe you're a victim. But
well, the majority of all of this is it has to be in the mainstream because that's what especially in the Western capitalist society, the way it's run is that the mainstream is what gets the money behind it. So that's what motivates it to change. So it's always like the shittiest things are
motivates the imitating.
Yeah, there's no need to imitate if it's not selling. If it's because that's what decides if something's good, really. So when you say there is good modern art, it's just not in the mainstream. It's like, well, of course, because that doesn't need to change.
There might be in the mainstream too. I mean, I'm no expert on it, but they're certainly extremely talented people that get unfortunately pigeonholed into the
talent is not the same as good. I say this all the time. Who's brilliant. My favorite? Yeah. Who's my favorite musician?
Mariah Carey.
Prince. I do not like one Prince song. He is a fantastic artist, his main the fact he just knows he's so talented. He knows how to write the perfect song for like the general public. He maybe has 3 good ones. I'll give him that.
3 good ones. Yeah, no, I don't know. Prince, yeah, fair. He had that cool
Michael
motorcycle.
Jackson. How good a musician was Michael Jackson? Good
Outstanding.
enough to fuck children. That's the
Lost.
All right. Oh,
Hot take. How many wings did you get through?
Kazooie, get us a count on the wings.
You have to give him the count first, actually, and then he'll give it back to you. That's how it works.
No, I
Yeah.
have the count. I want to know what my count is.
I haven't updated it since the last time.
You're not keeping track. Are you interacting in the chat?
Yes.
Are you stoned, Kazooie?
No.
So he doesn't smoke grass. He passes on grass all the time, and that's a smart move. Smart move. Because you know what? There's so many. There's marks for all. Oh my god, for all this shit. For this fucking everybody again chasing the feeling, right? But chasing the idea of the like the product. What is the product I'm missing? You know, there's something I'm missing, and surely it's external to me. What is it? Or maybe I believe it's internal to me, but I need some external thing to open it up for me. Maybe it's the fucking church, or maybe it's licking some frog's ass in fucking Brazil, or maybe it's fucking working out like crazy, and
maybe it's figuring out a way just to have less stress in your life from like financial stuff too. Like your overall perspective can change crazy on that. Like a lot of people search out for those things because of reasons like that. It's like the things that are holding them down, they're using it as like an escapism to feel something.
Well, yeah, to feel something, but then they're on the chase for the cure. But it's a never-ending cure.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a never-ending thing because it's never going to be the thing that finds the fulfillment. If it were, you wouldn't have to do it over and over and over again. I mean, you wouldn't have to keep going to this external source. This fucking what is he saying? Blade Runner father. I need more life, right? It's always this other thing, and then it's eventually the tap's going to run dry, and you've been there 5,000 times. The first time you took the fucking ayahuasca, this thing happened. And the next time this, but now you're into it 500 times. 500 fucking times. I guarantee the problem in your fucking life is not that your body lacks ayahuasca. I guarantee the source of the problems in your life. Maybe your gut biome. Gut biome is the answer.
Yeah.
My pH imbalanced. Yeah, that's what's going to get over your fucking goddamn chronic crippling self-hatred and depression is the fact that you don't have enough fucking salts in your fucking gut biome. That might be a problem if you have kind of critical disease.
What about my pineal gland? My calcified pineal gland.
Yeah, I tell you what, why don't you cut your own fucking head off, look inside of it, and take a look at the pineal gland, and maybe that'll solve your fucking problem.
Oh,
why don't you figure out
these people tell me that some of these people tell me they're decalcifying. We got to decalcify their pineal gland. We got to take care of this thing. I'm like, motherfucker, the stuff I've done to my poor pineal gland over the years. If this shit's real, you know what I mean. The stuff, and I'm like retarded, and I'm more aware than you are, and you apparently have the cleanest goddamn pineal gland on earth. You're just a crazy person.
And you falling for all this carnage bullshit. And maybe you are like the next J. Krishnamurti or something. Maybe you are the one who's transcended kind of the human condition, but even he was regretful of his transcendence of it. But maybe you are, but was it really the gimmick? Is it always really the gimmick? And how are you any different than somebody pushing some fucking medicine? Which and some people do need medicine for whatever thing. I can't fucking fault that. But it's like what
BlueChew.com/popularity contest podcast.
You need to get your dick hard so hard a cat couldn't scratch it.
Let us get your dicks hard.
What's gonna do it? Praying? Pfft, give me a break. You going to some phony baloney church? No. You going to some synagogue? No. Some fucking gimmicks. That's what's gonna do it, right?
Yeah.
That's a utilitarian thing. So, but what? No one takes the Blue Chew and thinks, all right, I don't need to take this anymore. My dick's gonna be hard anytime I want from now on.
Yeah.
They know right away. So,
Kazooie, have you ever tried
BlueChew.com?
No, I never needed it.
There you go, boss. There you go.
Nice. Because you didn't use it, or
guy was always real hot.
Yeah. So I thought, Kazooie. Don't try coming at me like that.
I wasted so much money on these hot wings.
No, you can eat them for a couple days. Right? You're not. Are you?
No, I mean,
you're
I
not going
will.
to? Yeah.
No, I will.
Should I do a count on
Eh.
mine since Young Kazooie has completely
Look at that
shifted team?
bowl of juice you were gonna put in your side. You needed like owl grease to get that shit down,
Okay, let's get
and
a
I did
count.
too.
Let's get a count. What do you think I'm at?
20.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7,
Night.
8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. I think it's 7. Is that another one? Yeah, 17, 18, and those are the sides. 18.
It's a lot. It's 18. It's 9 chickens.
Oh, God. Oh, I gotta say it like that. Remember
Just
when I sent you that picture of me cleaning those geese?
Oh man.
What do you remember what you said to me?
Mm-mm.
I was real proud of these geese. And you said, was it really worth it? And I go, yeah, of course it was. He's like, was it worth like what you get out of it? Is it worth what was put into making it? And I was like, what do you mean? And I looked up the average lifespan of a goose because I'm like, whatever. They're born in the spring and I kill them in the fall. You know what I mean? The average goose that you kill is about 9 years old for one meal.
Fuck 'em.
9 years it takes to grow that. So,
Oh, there's a lot of problems with the old animal
well, you know what I
diet. in there.
did? I threw the goose away.
Yeah, exactly. I like hunting, but not for the meat, just to kill the animal. Honestly, what?
Jeez.
What's the deal with the? I like eating meat because I know that animals get
You're
hurt.
the cock.
You know, yeah. You know, people. Do you think fish feel pain? It's a raging debate. Let me tell you, it's a raging debate.
It
It's
is?
got him. Yes, it
Did
looks
you
like
know
it feels
only-
fucking pain. Fuck,
Did you
would
know
it
only
not
till
feel
the
pain?
90s they accepted that babies feel pain?
1987. Yeah, that infants feel pain. Yeah, this is the same medical industry that's bringing you, which I did just say. Some people do need medicine, and fuck that. What am I going to say? You know, sometimes you do, but the
County
fucking
class.
I know, but these are the same fucking people that tell you that infants can't feel pain. So then, until like 1987, they're
New York
performing
Times. You can look that up.
open heart surgery on infants. Open heart surgery with no anesthetic.
Yeah.
Because anesthetic is dangerous for anyone, right? It's when you talk to an anesthesiologist, if you ever have to have one, you ask them about it, and they'll tell you, you know, they'll break the kayfabe and let you know they don't know why it works. Really, they don't. Their dosing amounts is just really based on, like, you know, the book says you weigh this much and this, and
Right.
that's what I do.
It's
but-
not your individual biology.
No, not even close.
No.
Like, so
It's commie shit. It's just like numbers. It's the numbers that you're assigned, or that
Yeah.
we assign to you based off of what we decide you fit into.
with
based on-
science, with scientific
No
method.
science, only physical. That's all that matters. It's only the physical. When I got these sons of bitches, by the way, sending me these goddamn atheist debates, debating atheists.
Atheist debating
like-
who's in the
No. Somebody debating an atheist. You know what I mean? It's like so owning an atheist. It's like
Mark.
Mark, you're a fucking Mark, right? For watching that shit. What are you doing? That's like no different than one of these guys, like, you know, going on camera and debating like a woke liberal college student girl. It's like, oh yeah, very impressive. Like you
Totally
I mean-
deconstructed their argument, bro.
yeah.
You're fucking Mark. You're smart
He
buddies.
disproved
Fucking Mark, yeah.
atheism.
But didn't you already know? Why do you
What
keep
do
going
do,
back to the
watch
well?
it?
Why do you keep going back to the well? You chasing that feeling, chasing that
Iowa.
dragon. Iowa.
Yeah.
Yeah, but my ayahuasca.
My waska. My waska.
But you know, some people have these tremendous experiences on it, and God bless them. Good for them. You know.
Oh
whatever.
yeah, I had one psychedelic experience ever, and it was pretty. To this day, I remember it because I was freaking out, man. It was it was not good. It was horrible. Yeah, I'm glad I never. I can't mess with that kind of stuff. No way. As I'm smoking, I don't smoke weed to get high though. I just smoke it to eat wings.
Now it's like I eat my weed. Okay,
Yeah.
the world has gotten better. Eat my weed.
I saw your
That's what-
eyes when I first busted it out because you're in Florida. It's not legal, right?
What weed?
But actually, yeah.
Yeah, Well, not recreational. I
Yeah.
don't think.
So it's still got like a stigma attached to it because I'm not used to like people like even our old people here. Like you pull out weed, they treat it already like it's alcohol. Nobody bats an eye. They just turned that way. It hasn't been legal for a year yet, or maybe just a year. Yeah.
No,
Maybe time.
the law is like the ultimate legitimization of the carny bullshit. You know, it all really begins there. Like
Right.
the law legitimizes the carny behavior, and once that happens, then it's fucking vaccines all the way down. Then it's
Don't
fucking
You're not allowed to sell mice at the carnival. That is a law for carnies. You know what they're saying when they say that? You could sell squirrels, you could
sharks,
sell cats.
baby sharks.
You
Yeah,
just can't sell mice, right? They're legitimizing the carny. They're just giving them one rule, but they're letting them know the rest of it's still all open.
there might be other rules that you can't follow, but then we're just amending the other rule.
Right.
When do they remove the one law? When is the time they remove the one law and replace it with the other, or just remove it completely? They don't. It's just like it stays. The law always stays, and then the next law or the next gimmick amends the other, but the other still stays. It just doesn't valid. It's not valid anymore, but it's still on the record. My law, my fucking my law math, which utterly fails when in the face of the professor. It's a fucking it's like this idea that you can. It's really just like magic words, and the idea of people's popular idea of how the legal system works and stuff, and that it's some kind
real
of
magic. Real magic, though. Not
Not
talking
iPhone.
about not Britannica. Someone knows what I'm talking about, but not. I'm talking about like magic, using it like how Crowley described it as like a psychology, right? Like when you say magic words and stuff like that. You know what I'm talking about?
They're falling for it. I mean, somebody's getting marked on that. Somebody's getting gaffed on that. Some
I'm
fish
saying
is
that's
getting
how it
hooked.
works. It's just like it's a manipulation. It's just that's
If
why
you don't
it's
have
magic
the-
words, because they get
you don't
people
have-
that you say them and they get people that do have a reaction. That's the reason it's magic. That's
But
it.
it's right. But you might get a bunch of fucking influence, and this is a big problem. Is it? We've been taught and reinforced that influencing down on the hierarchy is valuable, when the reality is, from our position, it's fucking not worth fuck all, right?
Can you
it's-
give an example?
Like educating people or whatever on some nonsense, or something valid too, right? I have
Tranny bathrooms? Is that what you're talking about?
no, more like empowering the the people below you on the hierarchy, mostly just through information. They're below you informationally. You
Why
might
do
have
you do that?
more access to information because you want to wake them up, something like that, right? But all you're doing, you have to influence those higher than you. Power and authority are hierarchical as well, and they descend downward. That's why you can have all the fucking magic words you want. But if you're in a system where your name, you aren't titled wizard or lawyer, when you go into the fucking wizarding cauldron or courtroom, if you don't have the fucking title, it doesn't matter your fucking magic words.
Right.
You have to have the fucking title because it's the hierarchy, right? And the words fall flat because they have the authority. The words have an effect on them, but they also have the power to just shut the fucking words down and say that they don't. You don't have that power. You believe you don't, or you believe you do because you've fallen into the magic word hoax. But
Right.
you don't have it. You can't tell the judge, get the fuck off the bench. You can tell him that all you want, but he has the power to throw your fucking ass in the cage.
Right. It doesn't matter
So,
how much
that's the
information
hierarchy.
you have, how much you've
Actually,
memorized.
the fucking sheriff or the bailiff who has physical authority. Your access is to a bunch of fucking marks on YouTube who you've taught about being some kind of fucking anti, pocket legal expert or something. It's what the fuck do these people have? What do they? What use have
Right.
you done?
You're a smart. That's all you are. You're a smart mark.
Right.
That's all it is. You're going to the carnival and you are thinking that because you know that the hoop is shaped round or oval instead of round, that means you can make the shot.
They have to give you their other basketball. They have to give you the other basketball, the one that will fit in it.
Yeah.
Mm-mm.
You're like, oh, I actually know the exact dimensions.
I've read the
of
Carney
that.
rule book.
Yeah.
I've read the Carney rule book. It says you have to. Let me see that book. You fucking throw it right in the trash.
Right.
Who wrote that book? Oh, my fucking brother. It's a fucking book's a gimmick too.
Oh, let me see what
The
that book says there. Oh, is that's our book? Oh, it says here you can suck my cock. Oh,
Right.
isn't that nice? Yeah.
Right. And then it says right here, and then they look down, you slap them in the face and call them a fucking nerd.
Yeah.
Now,
Who reads books, bitch?
Right.
My books. By the way, we have popularity contest book club.
we do.
We do. Yeah. I think they're reading.
They haven't started shit yet because they're stuck in analysis paralysis. They've been clouded. God bless them, but they've been bombarded with too many options. Maybe they've made a decision, but
let's establish the framework here. Our recommendation for the framework. I think that you had a pretty good idea the other day. I saw what you wrote as like how they should operate it. I think see if people agree with this.
When you start a book club, I think it's best to just go by chapter by chapter. Establish a date. We start. It doesn't really matter when anyone starts, but this is day one, or this is discussion one. Will be on this day, and we'll discuss chapter one, and it's a week, 2 weeks from now. Okay. Don't make the thing. Let's read the whole fucking book, and then discuss it first. Because I mean, I understand why it would seem like that'd be the way to do it, but it falls apart. Too much pressure.
This is how you describe how somebody should do something. Like instructions. This is your instructions.
No. It's not my work.
You want to have when you read. You want to have your hands on pointing to the direction of the sun and the moon. Right?
That's right.
Here's why. So you do a weekly, or
whatever.
You set a date. You do each chapter, and then at the end of the book, you go over this summary of the whole book. There you go.
Right.
That's nice. So if anyone wants to participate in that, I think they're reading. What are they? Berenstein Bears.
I think. Did you say it the right way there?
Oh, is that a Mandela?
What about
how much of a chance did you give the Mandela effect? How much of a chance?
I give it as in what sense? Like there's certain things that are curious, but I just ignore it. I mean, it's just another. I don't give a fuck how good the prize is at that fucking booth. It's still some carny bullshit. And I'm not fucking. I don't have time to go to every fucking booth in the carnival. Yeah, I just don't. And I can't. I guarantee. I've yet to see the person who's just walked away from the booth with such a grandiose prize.
What if you know for sure that it's true? What if you know for sure? Say, I know for sure.
I know for sure.
What if I do? What if I go? I know for sure that it's valid. The Mandela effect, for example.
Well, I don't know what it means. I don't know what it's like. All this stuff, it breaks down in the
answer doesn't fucking matter. That's the point. You're still wasting your goddamn time. That's the answer. You're still fucking Mark.
What's the prize going to be? What's the prize? How many times do you have to keep trading up? How much of the carnival and the conspiracy carnival is trading up too? Right. This is where the
recently. I have one for this. Okay. My friend recently got a decent job, a better job. It was just his life before was shit. He was just working like at a warehouse, midnights. It was just miserable. They treated him like trash. He was just a big fucking mark. He's got a better job. And the thing about it is because you have to exist in the carnival. You go to the carnival. I'm not saying avoid the fucking carnival. You have to. But if you go to the carnival, ideally you get to go on the ride that you want to go on. You know what I mean? You don't want to go on. Like I'd rather go on to like the zipper, you know what I mean? And like what this guy was doing before was like he was pretending because he was in denial too. He was pretending that he's like, I really like doing the balloon dart game. I love it. And you know what I mean? And he's like, I love that. I get to
look at all the heavy metal posters I got.
I get to $75 to get the smallest prize, and I get to manipulate it. Maybe eventually I can combine 30 of those to get a medium. You know what I mean? Yeah. And then eventually, and that's it. And it's like you just have to lie to yourself. It's like that sucks. So my point is like you got to try to at least be a little bit comfortable in things. So I'm not saying avoid the carnival. That's the other thing. Like these people that are like, we got to get out of here. You know what I mean? Shut it down, motherfucker. Society falls apart, or if you're screwed. First of all, you can't get off the goddamn internet. Just for starters. What are we going to do without that? What do we do it?
The internet's the worst fucking thing that's ever happened to humanity. If you can't accept that,
I'm like it too. I'm just not in denial about it.
Well, but it's the fucking worst thing that's ever happened. But but now it's like it's raised a certain generation of people who are like, it's a very extremely important part of their life, and I can't say that it's wrong for that to be. It's not, because what else would it be? But it was the perpetuation of it and stuff that led to that having to be that way anyway. So
I appreciate. No, this is the thing. Like at one point, I was just like, this is just the reality of who I am and what my life. So I'm just like, what's the net, like, what's a way I can make it kind of more of a net positive or closer to a net positive? That's why, like, I like to
Redefine what positive means. First of all, redefine what positive means. It's the same
Yeah.
fucking answer for everything. Redefine what it means, and then massage that until it conforms to
Well,
your
it's just
present.
like what the there's I mean, objectively more toxic things you can do on the internet over other things. You know what I mean? It's like not things are all created equal just because it's on the internet. You know what I mean? Like having
Interfacing with it is in many ways toxic.
having
Oh, yeah.
conversations like this through the internet versus like what like a lot of our marks do, whacking off the tranny porn. You know,
And yeah, if you're paying some tranny on OnlyFans, you don't need to do that. We have a
should come to the
Patreon,
Discord. Come to.
We have a Patreon. And we're not going to give you what you want. We're not going to give you any fucking weird shit like that, though there are some disturbing memes people post. But we're not going to give you
Filthy.
what you want, but we'll give you what you need, which is the acknowledgement that there's an addiction aspect to this stuff and a recovery aspect and a lot of shame and pain associated with it. We can't. Sometimes we're stuck in this fucking trading up cycle. It's the underworld, but it's the trading up of it, right? We're in the platonic the platonic space and trying to keep learning more, which is to say trading up. You got two smalls and I'll trade up for a medium, and now give you more money or time or energy or life force, and now I'll trade up for the large and trade up again, but now I'm left unfulfilled. At least I've accomplished this thing, but now I'm left unfulfilled. So now I'm going to move on to the next booth, and maybe I'll go back to that booth and kind of get it back a little bit. But at the end, you're just going to, I mean, all addiction is rooted in self-doubt, right? It's all rooted in self-doubt. It's all rooted in the doubt of oneself without the addictive element. What could I be without this thing anymore? The first thing you got to ask yourself when you've absorbed a certain amount of information or onboarded it in a life way is what would happen if this all disappeared, or if I was wrong about it all, or what then, right? Would I have to get more, or was what I learned enough, even though it was all wrong? Is where I'm at, even if it were wrong, still ahead, because it could be. You could have been lifting weights wrong your whole fucking life, but you're still in much better shape, right?
Mm-hmm.
Wrong, lifting weights wrong, right? But like, you're still ahead of the game, right? And you can say, well, I did it all fucking wrong. I took all the fucking worst advice, and a bunch of people told me fake shit that I didn't know at the time. But fuck it, here I am. I'm much stronger. I'm in great shape. Whatever, I could be in better shape, I guess. But fuck, why? What's wrong with where I'm at now?
Right.
But if it all disappears, like, are you somewhere better, really, or are you still going to be needing that thing? Is it the thing that animates you? Is the pursuit, the animation thing? Is it this Gnostic idea, this hunt for hidden information? Because that's all. There's an infinite amount of hidden information that can be generated on a fucking snap. That's just utterly, that has all the trappings and dressings of meaningfulness and importance, but in retrospect, you've just added more pieces to the puzzle. Where are you at? So it can be a feeling of shame, which shame perpetuates addiction as well. Shame and guilt perpetuate addiction, trying to stub out those feelings and ignore them, repress them, and replace them with what you know. You keep going back to what you know.
So you're saying like the amount of time and effort and the blood, sweat, tears, and life energy that's can be put into a thing that at some point you come to a conclusion, or you learn, maybe that may have been a waste of time, or like that was, there's going to be, because of that, if you ever get to that point of acknowledging that, there's going to be guilt and shame that come with it, because there should be. Doesn't make it wrong. Doesn't mean that it didn't there's anything wrong. It's just like it's an acknowledgement, and that allows like the rebirth process right there, right? You have to acknowledge that in order to.
You have that what you're feeling is the thing. This is how people recover from addictions. Is to acknowledge it, right? Same with the cults. Same with how people escape cultic things. Same with how people escape abusive relationships and malignant behaviors in themselves. Is the acknowledgement of and the acceptance of non-judgmentally, like, what I'm feeling is shame, because these are the correct emotions. Oftentimes overemphasized, unfortunately, because we've been so trained to beat ourselves up so mercilessly. But like, these are the correct emotions. So when your body is telling you that, when your being is telling you that, responding with those signals, then acknowledge those, because they're not going to go away. They're going to be like the fucking ghost in the mansion, and the mansion's going to keep getting older and older, and the windows are going to get the fucking cobwebs, and the caretaker's finally going to die, and now the kids are throwing rocks at the windows. But at the same time, the ghost or the haunted spirit's behavior is going to just escalate and escalate. It's not going to be silenced. You can drown it and suppress it, maybe at the cost of self-murdering your true self, but you're not going to escape that. Like, acknowledge that, and if you want to keep pushing forward through it, that's terrific. Go keep going into the thing, but do so knowingly. Do what thou wilt. Keep fucking going into the fucking abyss if that's where you want to go. But
I want to clarify that sentence when people hear that and they get a little freaked out.
They can get over it. I'll tell you what, they can get over it. But
that's what they might want to understand. Maybe they want to know why they get freaked out. Maybe they don't understand.
They get freaked out because they've been sucked in a bunch of propaganda. And it's just their mark. And they got turned into a mark. It's just a statement. It's just some words. It doesn't it represents bigger ideas and all these things, I guess. But and ideas are challengeable. But think about it. What does it mean? I was thinking about earlier. One of our elite marks, Abu Ayyad, an Islamic scholar.
Well,
he keeps posing this question about if you would own a slave. Would you own a slave if you could? And I was thinking earlier today at work,
a Muslim
asking how triggered I'd let myself be by that. But in looking back at it, it's a pretty obvious answer when you think about it. Like, yeah, there's the getting sucked into these dialectics of morality and stuff through interestingly, conspiracy stuff so often starts off with like breaking down dialectics. Don't fucking fall for the dialectics, right? But then it kind of, like, as philosophy and stuff gets introduced and logic, it gets kind of flipped on its head, and dialectics are introduced everywhere, and all this fundamentalist almost thinking comes into play. These very strong, or not strong, intractable positions on right and wrong, good and evil and stuff. So it's like I got into this. Clearly slavery would be repulsive to the human condition, but if you lived in some fucking world where this did exist and it were repugnant and you did have the means to own a slave, maybe it would be the wrong thing to not own one, right? If you could own a slave and treat them like they're free, if
you were like, you didn't have a choice for them to be free, so that you had to own one?
You do have a choice by owning them, right? I mean, in this free will example, but you do have a choice, like or your only action in it for this individual person would be to own. Would you buy this slave or whatever?
You're saying it. Okay.
If your mother was taken into slavery, if my mom was taken into slavery, am I so fucking opposed to slavery? Slavery's legal.
I see.
Am I so opposed to the idea of slavery that I wouldn't buy my own mother? That I'd let some other fucking carny buy my mom because I'm morally opposed to slavery?
So you're saying that there's stipulations to why it is, but in general, I'm clearly wrong.
Sure, but what I'm saying is, would you let what's wrong? Would you let what's wrong?
I see.
Not keep you from doing what's right.
Right.
Then not doing what's right is what's wrong. Uh-huh. So now you've got the double wrong. To get away from this fucking logic talk, but it's true. It's what would you do? And I hate this kind of like, is this the world we live in? I mean, is this really the case? But when someone asks and they seem to be sincere about it, question, I do try to give it some thought. So,
well, I need to know like what kind of slaves we're talking about. Like,
it doesn't matter. The worst kind of condition it is, the more incentive you have to do it. The more incentive you have to do what you can, which is to be. What are you going to do? Go change the law overnight? Or are you going to let him? How many days? How do you let you're going to let him sleep in chains another night?
Is my question is like, is an unpaid intern a slave in modern era? What is a slave in modern? Does it have to be manual labor in the field still? Like for
I think it's owning another human being legally, the legal I don't have the legal definition, but I would think it would have something to do with ownership rights over another human being, as in a sense of like
What about the
property.
people that say we're all slaves?
I love them. Oh god damn. I think well, if that were the case, right? If that were the case,
I wouldn't have just shoved 20 something wings down my face.
here's another thing. Is it if you're a slave, should you feel bad? Should you hate yourself because you're a slave? If you were a slave. If slavery were real, this Atlantic slave treaty shit, this 1800s America, pre-Civil War, 1805, you were born into slavery. Should you hate yourself? What should your position on yourself be when part of yourself, as identified by the whole fucking world, is this condition or whatever, this victimhood that you're born into? Why?
No.
So if you don't hate yourself, but it is who you are, according to these people, according to their law, according to the guy who owns you, according to the people who say you should be free, they're all acknowledging that you're a slave. So
What if I hate myself because I'm a bitch?
well,
I
that's
became a slave.
yeah. Well, you didn't become one. You are one. You're born into it, right?
Oh, okay.
So it's
All
like, what
right.
are you supposed to do? I mean, where is your position supposed to be? Flee yourself?
Yeah, of course.
Is it? I mean, you flee your condition, but you are yourself. You still are who you
Just
are.
be you.
Being a slave doesn't make any difference in the world. That's the most important thing. Being a slave has no relevance on anything. In fact, it has no relevance on anything. Whether you were or you were not doesn't really actually matter.
Why? Exactly.
Because you're still who you are. Whether you
Oh,
had this branding label of slave on you or not, you're still in the conditions you were in from birth. You're still in the present condition you're in, and you're always talking about some other kind of change of ontological state, right? You're not, like, for all intents and purposes, if the law says you're a slave, then what are you? I mean, you're a human being, but freedom is a concept of law too. So are you stuck in some clashing parchment idolatry between powdered wig men arguing on fucking Capitol Hill? Like, is that really where you are?
Well,
Or
here's
no?
the thing:
You're not.
if we all are slaves, then we are slaves, and it is what it is. I mean, that's it. That's the end of the conversation. It doesn't go anywhere else. Like, we just are.
Right.
If we are, then we are. That is what. That is what. It doesn't
There-
matter.
It's what I'm saying. It doesn't. Nothing's changed. Nothing's
Yeah.
changed. Nothing is really changed. So, but if you were to own one, again, back to this other thing though,
Oh,
like,
yeah.
if you could own one, it would depend, wouldn't it? Like, it would fucking depend. If you have the means to let
Whip 'em?
someone, yes, but you have the means to, it's a whip your, it's just a matter of opportunity. You have the means to whip your children if you wanted to.
Mm-hmm.
What's the difference between, whipping?
You don't know this though. That's been
Mhm.
clarified. You definitely don't own your kids though. That's like Garrett. That's the saddest truth. I mean, they'll take
Yeah,
the
but
motherfuckers away. You don't own
better
them,
act like
they're
you do.
taken away.
Better
Yeah.
fight like you do.
I
Because,
know.
and this is another thing on the ownership thing. It's like, is it wrong to own another human being? Okay, well, who owns your child? Where does your child fall into this, right? If ownership
State.
exists, doesn't mean they're a slave. Then that
State
is
owns
another.
your child.
Well, I'd like to think that's not true, but it's
Let's
like,
just say it's the reality. This is, again, it doesn't matter. It is what it is.
if they own you, But right, but you would like to think it's not true. Is what I mean.
Yeah.
Like, you have
Oh,
to
yeah,
give
but
some
if it
passion
is
to
true
fight.
that it is what it is, it's true.
Right.
It doesn't mean
So
it is
it's
true
what-
though. I mean,
you
they
have
can.
to argue against it. Like, you have to resist
miss-
that or return it in that way, right? You can't
you
buy your
mistreat
child
their-
from the
But if you
before-
mistreat their property, they can take it. They'll take it away from you.
Yeah.
So it is what it is. But that just means treat your fucking kids good. You'll be fine. That's not. I'm just saying it's. So that's an example of like, well,
Be a lot better off.
the harsh reality is the reality, but it's not unmanageable. For Christ's sake, you know what I mean?
Yeah, it's not some fucking advocacy for fucking slavery either. This is,
Mine am over here.
I'm just,
You might.
but
not
I'm just
be.
saying, in all these
You're talking about
hypothetical.
whipping.
No, you
owning.
brought that up. Yeah, I brought that up, but I didn't bring it up. This is fucking. This fucking Abu's
Okay,
a fucking
we're
Bernie. trying-
pro-slavery podcast. We'll just say it. Move on to the next subject. We're
Look,
pro.
if you can't be pro-slavery, how can you be? How would you ever have the chance to be anti-slavery?
I'm
If-
anti-rape.
I don't know what that means. I don't know what you're talking about.
I'm anti-rape. Well, if I was never pro-rape, how would I have the chance to be anti-rape?
I'm talking about slavery. So
oh, okay.
if you, but would you buy your parent live in the fucking slave world?
Yeah,
No.
I could break the rules.
My participation in the evil system demands. I'm so opposed to the evil system. I wouldn't buy it. No, very high position, but is it the right thing?
Are
to do?
you saying that this idea that because these people that reject things that are in the system because of the sake that it's in the system and they end up making their lives miserable because of it and they end up making the wrong decisions? Is this what you're discussing? Because you could just say this is an interesting topic. So that makes more
sometimes
sense.
you gotta weave a big story. You gotta the allegory.
No, I understand the allegory, but we got a bunch of fucking marks over here.
Oh,
I'm not. You.
I think there's
a lot more credit than
I think they're smart.
deserve.
If they're here, if people are here watching the
They're
show,
retarded.
no, they're already deep in the weeds, right? They're already
Oh yeah.
at the point where like they're that so many of certain things don't even need to be talked about. Like they're so far ahead that it's I give them a lot of credit. No one needs to be getting into fucking.
I don't give him any credit.
I know.
No. Nope. We agree on slavery. We're pro-slavery, but we disagree on this. I don't give him an inch because here's what I'm struggling with right now. Either we all are here and we're all getting it, or we are a group of insane people and we are all wrong. And I don't, it's like depending on the day. I mean, I'm sure it's a very sane thing to go on the internet in front of strangers and eat a bunch of chicken wings and talk about 9/11.
Which was, in fact, a hoax, and no one died or got hurt.
Fake and gay.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
What do we got? Let's do what we got? Five more minutes left, I think.
What is any? So how many people are in the live stream? Or
Is
the
everybody
chat?
Living? Right now it says 8.
8.
Oh.
All right. 8 bits of 8 or whatever.
8 marks.
God bless them.
That's what they are. They're marks. We're all a mark for something.
Bad. Oh, all over the place. I'm marked for a million things, but it's
yeah.
just like just because you're a mark doesn't mean just because you have to be a mark because it's a product of the world, and just like you in many ways doesn't mean you have to validate the carnies. Just because you're a mark, you have to be a mark for certain things. Doesn't mean you have to fucking
subscribe to the Patreon. Subscribe to the Patreon.
At the very least you could.
Yeah, the least you can do is the right thing.
I only ate 11 chicken wings, and I bought 50. I literally.
You're a fucking mark. You mark bitch.
God damn! I thought I was gonna eat 50. I thought I really was. I thought I was gonna need more.
Today? How much did you eat today? More.
I ate half a bowl of clam chowder.
Mm-hmm.
And bowl of cereal this morning.
Did you make this bowl out? Did you cut the top of a milk jug off? like
No.
A gallon of. This is not much food. What happened to you? You just showed up and just
fumes, man. I was working in the paint fumes today, and it weirds me. It fucks me up. I think it affected my appetite, but it also the fact that chicken wings are weird.
These were fantastic.
I wanted to do the steak challenge. Let me bring this up again. If it were, I wanted to do steak, right? I want to do the eating challenge. Let's do steak because I can get, I don't know how much, but I could eat 3 pounds of steak. I'm sure of it. 40 ounces of just steak. I'm positive I could eat that. Positive. In one sitting.
I will do the steak challenge if we can get enough marks to fund the steak challenge. Because at some point,
I thought your family kills cows. I thought they kill animals, and you have access to animals. Your family.
No. They kill children. No, they don't kill children. No, they don't. They're not that kind of farmers. They're soybeans and corn and that kind of crap.
What about when you told me before that like you were able to buy like half a cow or something, and you had all this
access to it? I have access to it. Well. I mean, my family has it in their freezer. I have access to it if I go at the right time of the day.
When they're not home.
Yeah.
Oh my god, you go raid their fucking gimmicks.
What am I supposed to do? I'm a slave.
Yeah,
I got it. I'm like a
well, if your
over here.
parents love you, they would. or whoever this family member is, they would buy you from your slave state and let you eat their steak without having to sneak it around.
Yeah, if they love me, they would.
Right.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, that's the only way. Yeah. Well, that means my parents don't love me. Which no, it wasn't my parents. Anyway, doesn't matter. Anyway, yeah, we'll do the steak challenge, but the marks have to fund it, and that just could mean like we get hit to a certain number on the Patreon or something. But I'm not gonna just start. I can't be one of these carnies that just goes on and spends a bunch of money on food every week and gets fat and gross amid coronavirus. What happens if we're wrong? What happens if the goddamn virus is real and then we become like, like people with higher morbidities because we become obese food eating carnies on the internet. We die from the coronavirus from our diabetes. I call it diabetes.
I wonder how many views that would get.
Pretty well.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
Well, anyway, I thought it was a productive but disgusting experience. These wings are gross.
How much steak do you think you can eat again?
48 ounces minimum, easily.
48 ounces? That's what?
Of just steak. I mean, of the steak. I'm not eating the fat and the fucking
No
gross shit.
gristle. Yeah, just the raw meat.
If I had like a 48 ounce, a 3-pound like tenderloin or fillet or sirloin, crush it, gone, disintegrate. Easy.
All right,
Absolutely.
we'll do a steak challenge. What would the steak challenge be? What would the challenge? Just so we see who can eat the most or who can eat fastest.
Most.
Okay, I'll do a steak challenge with you.
Yeah, I mean, either way, it's always the most because fastest and most are going to be even. They're in the end, it's going to be the same. Like who ate the most within a certain amount of time would be the fastest, wouldn't it? And it's still the same thing. What is it going to be like? Because if you can't,
what if by the end of the show we both eat the steak?
Then we're both winners.
Oh, this is gay. I'm not doing this. I'm not doing gay shit.
Just more chicken wings.
Yeah, that's true. Anyway, all right. Yeah, no, I had a fun time. Yeah,
I did too. We have a Discord link. It'll be going down soon and available only for patrons in a few days. So it'll be in the YouTube description.
I've been having a blast on the Discord. This is like a fun one for.
The Discord is to put the Discord over real quick. It is it's I think a great place for people to commiserate and unwind in a non fucking debate oriented environment.
Yeah.
To say
let loose.
Jay Dyer's gay and not have to worry about being asked why.
Yeah.
Obviously why he's gay.
Because he's a carny bitch.
Gay.
He's a gay carny bitch. That's why.
Exactly.
Why is he gay? Because he's a gay carny bitch. That's why.
Right. You fucking Mark. What do you have that question for? You fucking
Or you can be pro Jay Dyer here. You can also be pro Jay Dyer, like openly. You can be like, and then we'll just call you gay, and that's fine. But anyway, come to Discord, have a good time.
You see this paper in front of me? I put this butcher paper down over my area. Oh, you don't see it? Thank God. It's all fucking stained and. I'm tempted to show it to you. You see it?
Show me.
Oh, it's bad. It's humiliating. This is all the drippings and the nonsense. Look how clean your area is, right?
I just been moving stuff off to the side. I made this table.
Look at this. See all this?
Nope. You
see all this gimmick here? All this discoloration? What do you think all this is?
I thought the whole time. I was just joking with you. Okay. Kazooie, go ahead and bring us out. That was a fun episode. I had a good time.
I did too.
Yeah, come back again. We'll be doing it again. Kazooie, you taking us out here?
What does that mean?
It means just end the stream.
All right.
Yeah, have a good night. Yeah.
All right.
Whew, these chicken wings got to me, boys.